Hi, my name is Mandy, and for my Project B, I'm taking a deeper look into gender disparities in design, specifically advocating for women in graphic design. Well, for us today that are working towards actualizing our dreams and ambitions to be graphic designers, let me first begin by saying that this daily grind to be successful in a field that has a somewhat image perception of being primarily male is a worthwhile achievement. That said, however, we must not forget one reality, and this is the fact that few women design leaders exist within the graphic design community at large today. As it stands, only 3% of creative directors are women. According to the Design Council, 70% of undergraduates are female, while the profession maintains a predominance of 60% males. Consequently, then, the field is perceived as primarily a male domain. As discussed, yes, few women exist in positions of leadership today. But the fact of the matter is, this is an issue that afflicts all professions, not only the graphic design profession. This reality is harsh, and the figures to represent this are even harder to swallow. For me, the figures depict a situation that highlights women as glaringly absent from decision making platforms in their respective industries. And another thing that stands out is what message are we sending out to the women we work with, our daughters and aspiring women leaders, when these are the figures we're presenting to them? I would imagine that it would not be all that encouraging. Having few women at the top in various professions is an issue that needs to be addressed to ensure a gender leadership balance is achieved, to be achieved. I also believe that to achieve this balance may not necessarily dictate that it be a 50-50 balance. Achieving the balance could be an ongoing conscious effort to work towards, for example, moving from a total of 9 women heads of state to possibly 40 women heads of state. But how does the dynamic of few women in positions of leadership play out specifically in the graphic design profession today? For a long time, graphic design has been perceived as a boys' club of sorts, with very few visible women design heroes. It's interesting because, on the one hand, we have this primarily male dominated field. Um, but when we all go back to our design classes, this particular graduate design class at SCAD, for example, there are more women than men in the class. Yes, we are quite a bunch going to school to study design, but I believe we're not as generously represented in the professional world. Of course, evidently, the underrepresentation of women leaders in graphic design has tremendous contributing effects to the existing gender disparity in the field. And I believe for as long as women are underrepresented and there aren't enough visible women heroes in the field, aspiring women in the field have no role models to look up to, consequently, then resulting in a lack of female interest to join the field. But moving forward, I believe there needs to be a deliberate and ongoing effort in creative agencies to work towards fostering an equal gender playing field right from the recruitment stage. For example, if Agency X typically hires 20 interns a year, that figure should be split equally between the genders. Another approach could be that of the existing members of staff within the agency, for example, they could work towards introducing women in all departments to ensure that women feel comfortable doing the things that men do. But part of fostering an equal gender playing field where women designers can flourish means creating opportunities for public recognition of women in graphic design. As we stand today, a small fraction of past and existing women designers receive public recognition for their designs, whereas in the media and in the literature, male designers have and continue to receive generous recognition for their designs. The underrepresentation of women designers in the public domain and in current design literature, I don't believe can be doing great service to aspiring female designers. If pivotal female designers such as Jacqueline Casey and Margaret Calvert are only just receiving recognition for their work, what of the aspiring female designers in our classrooms and in the professional realm? Will they too face a similar challenge when it comes to having their work recognized? Professional design associations like IGA and some of the great initiatives rather that seek to promote and advocate women in graphic design. Members like Sue Matthews and Deborah Adler are great examples of women in positions of leadership that are inspiring and giving voice and uplifting existing and inspiring women in graphic design. I think it's a concerted effort of professional design organizations and communities to actively create awareness on past and existing influential women graphic design leaders that will promote women role models that aspiring female designers can look up to and be inspired by. Firstly, I believe it's important to acknowledge that industries, creative ones included, that establish structures in place within their agencies to promote gender parity in leadership significantly contribute towards closing the gender disparity in the field. Once we begin to take steps towards bridging this gap, we begin to implement policies that promote equity and in turn create an environment that supports the promotion of women into positions of leadership today. Sometimes I believe these policies and structures to close the gender gap do not have to be solely reliant on techniques such as mentorship and training, for example. Possible approaches could work towards improving pre existing biased perceptions about leadership that exist today, which, in my opinion, sometimes inhibit equality and leadership opportunities for women. I believe it's critical that the systems design agencies put in place to bridge the gender leadership gap focus first and foremost on undoing cognitive perceptions about leadership. A lot of the times, the biased mental perceptions about leadership that exist within organizations are what make it a challenge, number one, for men and women too to be comfortable being led, and two, for women to be comfortable with leading. But finally, as an MA graphic design student right now, I would like to use this platform I have, being a graduate student, to promote and give voice to the women in the industry. Hopefully, this can inspire and play a part in influencing more female designers to join the field. Thank you for your time.